You to grab the basket of clothes from the basement when you're done, so I can pack. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna possibly mute that.
I'm not muting my TV. Quit hiding cups laying around the room. What?
Hey, what's going on? I'm good. How have you been? Oh, that's horrible. Was it a bad crash or? What? Dang, that sucks. Well, hopefully it's not too bad and you're all right soon. No problem. Thanks for having me come on. As far as prep for Supercross goes, I'm actually, when I'm done doing the interview, got everything loaded up in the van and everything, and we're headed down to, I think, Club MX first to ride some Supercross this weekend and start shaking down the bike for the East Coast. I'd have to look at the schedule, but I know I'm gonna miss the first round. But I believe, let me see if I pull the schedule up here. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make it to Minneapolis or Arlington, but I know I'm gonna be in Detroit. It'll be the first round that I head to. I mean, I'd like to go to Arlington and Minneapolis, but working a full-time job, you go to which ones you can race and whichever ones you can make it to, and I'll do what I can. I try to hit as many as possible each year, so we'll see how it goes. Actually, my buddy was supposed to head down with me, but had some medical stuff come up, and he's got to sit this trip out, even though I think, pretty much wanted to go ride with me. But as far as anybody else, I think just my girlfriend's going down with me this time. Everybody else seems to be busy right now, so we're gonna go down and get some riding in, hang out in the South, see some of our friends, and see what we can do. I have not been to Southwick before, and I want to go. I like riding in the sand. For most of the Northeast kids, a lot of guys in the North see just dirt and ruts like Unadilla and High Point and stuff like that. And I ride a lot of sand going to Florida and on the Triple Crown Series in Canada and stuff. I would really like to go to Southwick. I think it would be a lot of fun. I think it would probably be one of my better rounds. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me on. I'm actually from Pennsylvania. Hi, Garrett. Yeah, FXR is one of my main sponsors. They help me a lot. They've been with me now for the last couple years, and I work alongside Don and Andy a lot and do a lot with them. The owner Milt's awesome. I've been to his place in Road. As far as other people this year, yeah, we got FMF, CD, Arai, 100%, Aggressive Graphics, Twin Air, Engine Ice, TLR Performance on my engines, Factory Connection for the suspension. I got Works Connection, Sunstar, Moto Hose. I've got, a good amount of people helping me, and I'm still solidifying some of it. Recluse is helping us this year with clutches and stuff, so it's going pretty well so far. We're getting things shaked down and figured out, and so that's about what we got going on as far as sponsors currently and what's going on with the bike and stuff right now. My first bike, believe it or not, was a PW80. I started riding at 10 years old, but I never actually raced until I was 13 when I got my first YZ85. My plan for 2019 is I'm going to do as many of the East Coast Supercross rounds as I can, and then I'm going to shift my focus over to the Triple Crown Series in Canada and do as many of the Arena Cross, the Nationals, and their Supercross series as I can. I've been riding up there for the last, 5 years maybe. It's it's a lot of fun up there. The atmosphere is great. Everybody up there is super nice. Everybody, if you ever get a chance to try it, I would definitely suggest trying to race one of the Canadian Nationals, just as far as the atmosphere and meeting people and the friends and stuff you'll make up there. But I'll go up there for 2019 as far after Supercross is done and race up there. Actually, we got a KTM 125 now, so they're having those 2-stroke races. So we're gonna jump in a couple of those 125 races. Yes, they know how to talk in French, but I do not. So when I go to Quebec, I have a hard time understanding anybody. Yes, I will be at MetLife. It's the closest round to my house, actually. It's like 3 hours away. So that one's the one I'm most excited for. I'm glad they brought it back. I definitely like having a race somewhat in my backyard. So it's cool that we get to go there again now. Yeah, that makes me teammates with Phil. Phil's a good guy. He's a lot of fun to be around. He's pretty funny too. Actually, with me going to club this weekend, I'm pretty sure Phil and his new teammate Sean Moffenbauer are there, so I'll hang out with those guys this weekend. Training schedule as a privateer. A lot of my time I actually spend working, unfortunately. So I work all day and then come home and do what I can for riding and training and stuff. I just squeeze everything in as best I can with work. I got to work around my schedule with work so that I can still go to races and go everywhere and get the training in and riding in that I need to, or everything the best that I can. It's a lot tougher being the full privateer where you work all the time and pay for it on your own and have to bounce back and forth between doing a job on the weekdays and then traveling Friday night to get to wherever you're going and race all weekend and travel home just so you can go to work on Monday. I would say the advantages of the Triple Crown Series in Canada versus the Outdoor National Series here in the States. I definitely feel like the atmosphere in Canada, as far as like around the races, the people to be around and stuff, is a lot more laid back and fun. I feel like down here, when I race down here, it's a lot more pressure and people aren't as ready to help you as they are in Canada. In Canada, you could pretty much almost blow up your bike and somebody will lend you a bike to use, where down here it's hard to get minor pieces off the teams. They won't really help you. They don't want to talk to you because you're not on their team. And it's definitely easier on the privateer budget to race in Canada because our dollar is currently stronger than Canada's. So I can save money in entry fees and travel and stuff like that going up there and riding, as opposed to paying the fees that are down here to enter the race and get my license and stuff like that. It's pretty expensive to race in America. A daily race day is, we'll get up in the morning, have breakfast, we go to the track. Supercross, we usually we have to go to tech. The day before, we actually have to do our sound check and stuff like that with the bikes. But the race day, we go through tech and get our transponder for the bike and everything and make sure everything checks out with the AMA. And then we will do track walk, where we get some time to walk the track and have chapel service. And then we go back and it starts right into practice, followed by qualifying. And then they give us, it's usually like 2 or 3 hours before the night show and we start racing. It's fast paced, not a lot of time to cool off or, make changes if there's something wrong with the bike. If you have a major issue, you don't have a whole lot of time to tear it apart or anything like that. So you have to really be on the ball and have a good group of people helping you. My day job, I actually work at a place that makes airplane engines. I'm their electronic mechanic, so any of their machines, the CNCs, the mills, the hones, the nitriders, all that stuff, I'm responsible for making sure that it stays running. So I run around the plant all day, fixing every machine that something breaks on, be it little or big. I have to diagnose whatever problem the machine's having and figure it all out just to make sure the place stays running so they can keep building engines and stuff. The place is called Lycoming Engines. They're an affiliate with like Bell Helicopter. They're owned by Textron. Textron's a fairly large company, does a lot with the military and stuff. So, and the engines we build are used in the Red Bull race planes. When I get a new bike, first thing I usually do is bring it home and tear it down to its frame. I don't really trust a lot of the dealerships and stuff that have the bikes because they don't usually grease the bikes nearly as much as you would expect them to. Thinking that they're a dealership and they want your bike to stay together and stuff. I usually tear my bike all the way down to the frame, grease all the bearings and everything, check all the bolts and everything, retorque everything, tighten everything. I basically go over the bike with a fine-tooth comb to make sure the bike's ready to go and safe, and that way I can take it out to the track on the first day and break the motor in and have some fun. My best finish is a 10th overall at one of the nationals in Canada. The weekend that happened, I went up there with anticipation to actually run both the 250 and the 450 class. At the last round, I was going to double class for extra points in the series that year. And I was mainly focused on the 450, the MX1 class all season long. And I was sitting close to about 11th in points in the series. And I went out the first moto because 250s rode first. And I went out and rode. And I finished 13th, I think, in the first moto. And I wasn't really overly pushing or trying too hard because I was trying to save some energy for the 450 class. And then I had Moto 2 for both classes after that as well. But I ended up making 2 laps in the 450 class that day and got a flat front tire right away. So I had to shift my focus completely to the 250. And the second moto, I went down in the first turn and came back to 9th and ended up getting in a battle with Tanner Ward and letting Tanner pass me on the last lap. And it gave me 10th overall, but I really wanted to finish stronger than that. But for coming back from laying on the ground, I can't really complain. As far as mechanical work, if it's something major, like something crazy, like I have to shake the forks off or pull the head of the bike apart or something like that, I usually do a lot of it. I do have 2 of my buddies actually 3 of my buddies that tend to switch in and out and help me out now that my dad passed away and he can't go with me. My buddy Corey, my buddy Andrew Flood, and my other buddy Andrew Mikulajczyk, the 3 of them kind of swap in and out and go and help me. And they'll take care of most of the stuff throughout the weekend. And unless it's something major, then we all kind of pitch in and do whatever we can. I actually do have a pet. I have a Cocker Spaniel. Her name is Elsa. And she's not quite a year old yet. And she's upstairs with my girlfriend and my brother so that she's not down here going crazy while I'm doing this because she's a little bit wild. The first thing that I'm pretty picky about on my bike is the bars and the levers. I learned early on at a young age that I was super picky about how I have my bike set up as far as my bars and levers go. My dad used to move my levers and stuff to where he thought that I would like them. And I would get on the bike and instantly be like, hey, why did you move my bars or why did you move my levers? And he looked at me like, how did you even notice that? It's like I spent so much time on the bikes when I was younger that just being on them, if you moved anything, it felt uncomfortable and weird. Something was off. You just knew something was wrong. So I've always been about my levers, my bars, and stuff. And then I guess next would probably be the brake pedal, and then I really have to work on my suspension to make sure that I'm comfortable with that. Lately, yes. Since I've gotten her, Elsa has gone to a lot of the races with us. She's a little bit wild, so it's kind of hard to keep track of her and do all the racing and stuff. But I wouldn't trade it. I love her. She's awesome. She's my first dog as far as that stays with me or whatever. So it's cool to have her around, and it makes every day a little bit more fun, because if you're feeling down or you don't feel very good or something, she's always there to make you feel better and put a smile on your face. Thanks. Yeah, that was a freak accident. He was actually supposed to leave the house to meet me at a national one year, and he was doing something here helping my mom, and I was told he'd call me back in about 15 minutes before I left the house to make sure I didn't need any parts or anything that were here. And when my phone went off, it was my mom, and my dad had a just a freak heart attack, and just didn't survive it. So it sucks. Yeah, he got me into riding and racing, so without him, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. So, as far as my amateur career went, I was 15 or so when we learned about Loretta's. And I didn't really know too much about it. So we tried to qualify my last year on an 85 and made it to regionals and stuff, and struggled there. And I could have went as an alternate, but we didn't know enough about it or anything, so we didn't really sign up for it. And then we did sign up and do it the following year. I went in C class, and that was my first year I ever went to Loretta's. I went in C, and I got 5th overall. My moto scores got better throughout the week. I went 7.64, I think, in my first ever time down there. And I ended up switching bike brands from a Suzuki back then to a Kawasaki before we went to Minios. And I went to Minios that year and won the outdoor portion of it. I went 1-1 in the 450 class, and the 450 mod I went 1 TNF. I crashed and knocked myself out and didn't really know where I was till we were like South Carolina, North Carolina on the way home, and my mom had to explain to me that we had won a title, and I was kind of didn't remember all of it. If I'd have stayed on the bike, though, I could have had an Olympiad trophy, but it didn't work out that way. What's going on? The rest of my amateur career, I guess I really tried to go down to Loretta's in B class, and we were at regionals, and it was the last moto of the week or whatever, my first set of the third motos or whatever there at regionals, and I was in second place, and I was the last lap. We got the white flag. If I would have just stayed where I was, I'd have qualified second in the Northeast region to go down, but hit a freak braking bump or something, and I had a new bike and it had stock suspension on it, and I got ejected and ended up breaking my lower back, and that kind of ended that whole run for Loretta's that year. And the local district pushed me into the A class when I was out with a broken back, so I couldn't even ride, and I got bumped into A. So I came back to my first A race, and I think I rode maybe 1 or 2 local A races or something, and crashed again and re-broke my back and put a hole in my lung the second time. So I pretty much went backwards with my career at that point. So when I came back after the second broken back, I was getting beat pretty bad locally in the A class, and I didn't really like it so much, so I kind of disappeared. And I have a track here at my house, and I trained and trained and trained and kept putting lap after lap in, so that when I went back, I was able to win. I was able to be in the front with the other guys that, were beating me or whatever, that had their pro licenses and stuff. And so I set my sight right away to going to pro-ams, and within 3 pro-ams or so, I already had my pro points and got my pro license and started doing that, and then jumped into Supercross and kind of been doing it ever since. Yeah, I am most definitely coming back for the Triple Crown Series again next year. I've done it for the last 5 years or so, and I don't plan on changing anything. I definitely want to do as many as I can. I do wish that some of the rounds weren't as far away so I could do all of them, but I'll do what I can. Do the arena cross, the supercross, and the outdoors again. I think I'm going to miss the first or a couple of the East Coast arena crosses because they're on the same weekend as MetLife Stadium and Supercross, so I'll be at Supercross for that, but I will be up there to race Canada again. My music playlist is just about all over the map. It goes from country to whatever the normal, like regular top hits are on the radio, to a little bit of rap and hip hop, to rock and roll, to, I'm not really too picky with music. I listen to just about anything. All my friends have different music tastes, so it doesn't matter who I'm with. No matter what we're listening to, we're having a good time, singing along in the car or the van, being a bunch of retards, for the best word. Like, we screw off the whole time in the vehicle and laugh and have fun. So road trips are usually pretty entertaining if you put the music on. I have trained other riders. I have also held a couple of schools and done some stuff like that. I actually work with a younger kid here in my area that I've trained with him quite a bit. I kind of want to do a couple more schools this year if I can, because I actually do enjoy helping others out. At least I try to help them as much as I can. It's awesome to get to see them from what they come, and you watch them ride and you see how they start the day. And then by the end of the day, you can see how far they've come just by picking up on little things like body position, or, braking and keeping your elbows up, and all the little things that you can just help them with that can change their entire riding. And dropping 2-3 seconds a lap is a huge thing in racing. So it's awesome to see how far you can help the other guys. My favorite rider of all time. I'm going to have to say probably Ricky Carmichael, because it did not matter how far down he was, or you couldn't count him out. He could get the worst start or crash 3 times, and you never saw him sit down and just like give up and say, okay, hey, 4th place is good. Or he just would push the whole way to the end, and you'd always see him right there in the front battling for the lead. Watching some of the races growing up, watching him and Stewart or him and Chad Reed go at it, that was by far the best era of motocross, in my opinion, just watching those guys duke it out. My worst injury has definitely got to be my broken back when I put a hole in my lung. And I'm pretty sure that I knew that I screwed up when I did that, because I went to the race with one of my friends, and I did that, and I had to have one of my buddy's dads call my mom to tell her that I was going to the hospital in an ambulance. And the first words out of my mom's mouth, my mom basically hates motocross because of the money and stuff I spend in it and how much I do, but she showed up at the hospital, and the first words out of her mouth when she saw me was, "How bad's your bike, dumbass?" So when she asked me about the bike and wasn't worried about me, I was pretty sure that she was pretty mad at me for that one, and it definitely was not the best one I've ever done. But it's a funny story, and it's funny to look back on it now, though. My favorite track for the Triple Crown Series, I love going to Riverglade. I would go to Riverglade every weekend. I it's just like riding in my backyard. It feels so normal to me. I always do good there. I just absolutely love being up there. And the people up there at Riverglade are awesome. I can't say anything bad about that place. It's even with as much rain and stuff as they had, and it should have been a mud swamp this past year, it was still awesome. So I can't say anything bad there. Like I said, when I was little, my favorite rider of all time, I was looking up to like Ricky Carmichael, James Stewart, watching those guys ride. And then it progressed, I liked watching Villapoto's style. It almost seemed like he never really used his front brake, which is kind of weird because he always was steering his bike with the back wheel and he was just always on the gas. So it was always awesome watching them. But I think the highlight of my career so far has been lining up against Ryan Villapoto and those guys in Supercross and being on the same gate with them. So it was pretty cool. And it was a humbling experience to see the difference between where we are with our bikes and where they are with what they have. So my bike hauler primarily is my race van. I have a cargo van, E350 diesel. I use it to go just about everywhere, and if I'm not using that, I have just a tiny little trailer. So I don't have anything big and fancy. I don't have a big toy hauler. I don't have anything as far as a giant Renegade hauler or anything like that. It's just usually me in a van and me and my pickup or my trailer, just something small. So I mean, I don't really have anything fancy to haul my stuff in. Right now I live in Pennsylvania. I'm like dead in the middle of the state. If you draw an X on the state and where it crosses, I'm like right there. Not real far from Penn State University, so I'm near the campus there. I have my own little place here set up with, a full-size outdoor track and then just a big corner track just for myself. And my little brother rides with me every now and then. We just got him his new bike, so he's been riding a little more with me, but he's more into baseball. I'm going to work on that, though, because I'm going to eventually sway him over to the dark side, and he will ride motocross. I may have. I don't know. I don't really know of what family I would have from up there. I do spend a lot of time right on the border of New York, though, at a track called Miles Mountain. I ride there way more than I should probably. It's like my home track. It's like an hour and a half from my house or so. Every chance I get, I go up there and ride, so I can't complain about that. I love going up there. The owner's awesome. Some of the best people I've ever met up there. Growing up, I did play baseball like my brother, but when I started racing at about 13, I pretty much instantly gave up baseball and went full-time motorcycles. And ever since then, I have not really played any other sports. It's just been motocross, motocross, motocross. That's all I really want to do. What's going on, Zach? Yeah, I wish they would make a legends class. Like they need to have it at every national where like Stewart, Carmichael, Wyndham, McGrath, RV, Dungy, all those guys need to come back and just duke it out like the legends of our sport, the top guys, just to watch them all ride together and race. It would be really awesome to see those guys go head to head. Hey, I mean I started at 13, but I'm 29 now and I don't have any intention of stopping anytime soon. So telling your mom you're starting at 28, I mean there's nothing wrong with that. I mean at 28 you're making your own decisions, you're paying for it. If you want to ride, that's awesome, dude. I mean get into it. Motocross is awesome. The people you're going to meet, they're going to become like family to you. That's definitely how my life's been. My closest friends and everything all ride. They don't live near me. My closest friends usually live 2 to 3 hours away, but they're like family to me. I know that if I ever called them and had a problem, I know that they'd have my back and they'd be there as quick as they could. My favorite season thus far. When you say season, do you mean my racing season or season to watch Villapoto and Dungey or Stewart and Carmichael? Because my favorite season for me was 2017 because it was the best season I had. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more. I got to travel the country, do the entire series in Canada up there before it became the Triple Crown Series. My national number was 24. I mean, I can't say that I would change anything about it. I had a blast going up there. I traveled with a bunch of dudes. So it was interesting. It was fun. And definitely the best season result-wise I've ever had. So definitely my best season. My little brother is currently 14. He's super into baseball, and hopefully he gives it up and gets into motocross so that he can travel the country with me and I can help him to be better than I ever am or will be. So, I mean, I would love to see him progress further than I have, and I would love to be able to see him make it to a point where, he could get like maybe a team ride or something, or even if it was just an off or an underling team. But it would be awesome to see him make it further than me. My favorite section on the track. Probably gonna go ahead and say the rhythm section or the whoops. I actually like the whoops where a lot of guys don't. It took me a lot of years to be that way. I definitely, when I first hit my first real set of whoops, they were terrifying, and I hated every part of it, and I didn't even want to do it. But I definitely would say the whoops now are my favorite part because we go out there and practice and qualifying, and a lot of the guys, you can see they're kind of timid and don't want to hit them. But once you figure them out, they can be a lot of fun. So I definitely like the whoops. Now, the Carmichael and those guys all don't race anymore. They just do a lot of the commentating, and they go to races and do a lot of stuff like that. So my favorite type of dirt is probably like Unadilla. I like when it gets rutted. Definitely the loamy soil when it's wet and gets rutted out and gets choppy and rough is by far my favorite type of dirt, but I grew up riding on that, so it's like second nature, I guess. And then I definitely like riding in sand, but it's not my strongest point, but I'm getting better as time goes on because I spend a lot more time riding it than I used to. So my most memorable moment racing in Canada. My most memorable, well, I guess there'd be two of them. One was bad when I was up there and I got the phone call about my dad passing away. But then my best racing moment in Canada was either getting the 10th overall at RJ's or the year that we started launching that giant double at Deschambault, and there was three of us that hit it in practice. There was Benoit, Kyle Swanson, and myself all jumped the giant double, and no one else was hitting it. So before qualifying, we were standing under the tent waiting to go out, and to have Davey Millsaps and Mike Alessi ask you, hey, how hard is that jump? It was kind of cool to be like, oh, I hit it on a stock Yamaha, so, it was cool to see their reaction. Like, they're asking a privateer how hard it was to hit a jump, and you would expect us to be asking them for advice. So that was probably the coolest thing that ever happened up there. Yeah, 392 is my Supercross number. That was the number I was assigned when I became a pro in America. When you get our pro license down here in America, we right away you get to try to pick a number. It has to be 3 digits, but you get to try to pick. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get what you picked. So then they want you to give a list of options of what they have or what else you would like. Well, I listed off a bunch of stuff for my numbers, but I didn't get any of them. They called me and offered me like 3 different numbers, and I chose to go with 392. And ever since I took 392, I've just kept it and kind of owned it as my own number. So that'll be the number I run until I can earn a 2-digit number if that's possible. That's my goal. My national number for Canada this year, I believe, is 47. My number went to 47 this year. I didn't have the most stellar season. I kind of struggled a lot. I actually got a brand new bike 2 days or a day before one of the rounds because I was going to race the 250 class and the bike blew up in the first round. So I had to switch to the 450 class because all I could afford was a stock 450. So I grabbed a new bike and showed up at the track with a stock bike, stock pipe, stock everything, put number plates on it, and called it a race bike for the weekend. So definitely wasn't the best option, but it was the only one I had. So my favorite track to train at in the South. I like the tracks at Club MX, but there's usually not a lot of people there that like I hang out with or anything. So I tend to hang out more at South of the Border or Jimmy Weinert's track. I used to stay at the Border for a while. I've stayed at Weinert's for a while. But knowing all those guys down there, it's cool to go down there and see Jimmy and hang out with him again and catch up and talk racing. So it's definitely those 3 tracks are where I usually go when I go down south. That's cool that you're getting back into it. It's definitely a learning curve to get on the bike, but it's definitely fun. The more you ride, the better you get, and the more fun you can have. And going and doing it with all your friends and stuff, you're going to make tons of friends just riding dirt bikes and going to tracks. So I hope you really enjoy it. I actually now have 2 two-strokes in my bike collection. I have the last year Kawasaki made their KX250, which was 07. I have it all decked out and everything, and it's awesome to ride and stuff, but I keep tweaking it and making more changes, and I've updated the forks to newer forks and stuff like that. And then just recently we added a 2019 KTM 125 to the collection so that we can do a bunch of the 2-stroke races and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's awesome. It's primarily so my brother can ride, but he doesn't ride that often, so I'm going to use it for races and go to 2-stroke nationals and stuff, and I love it. I've been on it a couple of different times now, and it's definitely one of the most fun bikes I've ever had right out of the box. So, yeah. I mean, I don't hate sand, but Gopher Dunes I'm not a huge fan of. That place, when I go there, it's more or less a survival race. It's get through it and try to just hang in there and get to the end if you can. It'll beat the heck out of you. That track gets so rough. They like bulldoze it flat in the morning, and by lap 4 you're in rollers that are 3 feet, 4 feet deep. That track is just one of the wildest tracks you'll ever ride, and trying to do it for 30+2 is one of the hardest things I think I've ever done on a dirt bike, is trying to race that track every year. If I could be on any team, what would it be? If I could be on any team, I think I would probably pick the Red Bull KTM team. They have by far the best track record out there right now. I mean, it doesn't seem to matter who they put on the bike or what's going on. The guys they're training with, Alden Baker, they just excel like you wouldn't believe. Cooper Webb struggled really bad there at that Yamaha, and look at him. They put him on that KTM now, and they worked with Alden Baker, and he came out and won last weekend at that Triple Crown event. So definitely think that'd be the team to go to. I definitely think they have some of the best bikes. My gnarliest crash. Man, I don't even know. I've had some pretty wild get-offs, but I think some of my most gnarly crashes have ended fairly well where I walked away from them. It's the crashes that usually weren't all that bad that usually bite me the worst. I think both times I broke my back, really, the crashes weren't super, super dramatic or anything. It was just the way I hit the ground or the bike hit me. I would have to say probably my gnarliest crash was being knocked out for, I don't know, 10 hours or so. Like, I mean, I was awake, but I wasn't consciously there. I don't remember any of it. So that was probably definitely the gnarliest crash. I was at Minio's though. So that, I mean, that was rough. Do I think I can compete with number 463 on a 125 in the Canadian support class? Well, I guess we can find out this weekend when I get down there, Zach, because I know you're going to come ride with me. So, my social media handles. I think all my social media handles are the same. It's my last name, Fowler, and the number 392. I tend to use all the same ones for everything, try to keep it so that everybody can find me. So, and then I actually have a page, also an athlete page on Facebook. I'm pretty sure it's the same also if you look up the Fowler 392 thing, or you can find my actual profile. They're both linked together. So, even though being a pro, whatever, the bikes actually last me a long time. My Supercross bike is still a 2017 Yamaha 250F. It's all about how much you maintain them, though. So I take the bikes apart a lot and re-grease and change bearings, and I just stay on top of all the maintenance. I don't let the bikes go very long without oil changes or anything like that. As long as I'm on top of the maintenance and stuff, my bikes, I could probably run them for 5 or 6 years and I wouldn't really have any issues. It's just, I would say for a 250, every 25 to 30 hours max, I will rebuild the top end. And then the 450s, man, I can go like, I'm not hard on the bikes. I don't over rev it or hit the rev limiter too much. I could probably get 100 hours out of a 450 before I have to actually rebuild it and have to worry about anything. Yeah, I am actually really pumped for the Premix Nationals in Canada. Now that I have that KTM 125, you can bet that I'm going to be doing a few of them. I think the new YZ65 is sweet. I think the Yamaha did a great job with that bike. Just how the bike looks and everything about it is really cool. I can't say anything bad about it. I mean, I haven't rode one or anything like that, but they definitely took the time to make the bike look as awesome as possible so that it can at least compete with the KTM and the Husky. I think Cowie needs to update their 65 because it's been a while, but they definitely did a good job with the YZ65. Safety is super important, but I did used to run the Leatt brace, but it was the old one, the original one, and that actually was a part of breaking my back both times. The spine piece on them used to be super stiff, and right at the very bottom of the spine piece is where my back would break because my back would arch over the neck brace, and it would actually cause my injury. So I don't wear a neck brace anymore, and I have a sponsor and stuff for knee braces, and I'm starting to get used to new ones. I have the Mobius ones. I'm trying to get used to those because for the longest time I really didn't wear anything because I just like to be able to feel the bike between my knees. So it's kind of a new thing for me. Have I ever busted a fingernail? Yeah, don't have a complete fingernail anymore. I got my nail ripped off in a crash at the Travis Pastrana race at I ripped my fingernail off at the Travis Pastrana race, got into a crash with somebody, and it was cold out, and it like tore my entire nail off, and I actually had to go and have it like cut off at the doctor's office and stuff, and they shoved the nail matrix back in so it would regrow, and it was probably one of the most painful things I've ever had to sit through, and I really, really don't want to do that again. $250 or $450. I personally like the $250 in Supercross, but I would pick my $450 for the outdoors every time. And then if I had to pick between a 2-stroke and a 4-stroke, I would race the 4-stroke, but I have way more fun riding a 2-stroke, that's for sure. And I don't know which one of the two Amy's that keeps commenting is my brother trying to act like my girlfriend, and then one is my girlfriend. I don't know which one is which though, so I don't know what those two are doing. Kind of just ignoring the two of them. I actually had one of the Atlas braces also, and I didn't mind it, but after everything in the sport kind of went through that weird transition where they were trying to say that the neck braces were just as safe as they were harmful, and they did help you, but they also didn't help you. And after everything that happened with my Elliott braces and stuff, I just kind of opted to stop wearing it. And I can't say that it would. I don't know. The Atlas brace never bothered me. I'm not really sure what made me stop wearing it. I'm sure if I started to if I put one back on and wore it all the time, that if I got used to it, I'd be all right with it. But I think it would just be a comfort thing, and it would take me a while to get used to it. If it came down to picking between riding outdoors or Supercross for a living, definitely money-wise and the money you can make, and it's actually a little bit cheaper in America to ride Supercross than it is outdoors in America, and you make more money riding Supercross. It's definitely way more dangerous than outdoors, in my opinion, because the tracks don't really give you much room for error. I would definitely pick Supercross, though. I mean, I have fun with it, but as long as you're kind of smart, you can be safe and stuff. If it was all about just fun, I would definitely pick outdoors, because you can just hold the bikes wide open and throw whips and scrub everything. And if you case a jump, it might hurt a little bit, but it's not like in Supercross where if you case a jump that you're going to break your ankles or break a wrist or anything crazy like that. So. And I've now been notified that my brother is the orange Amy and my girlfriend is the purple one. Triple Crown or AMA? I personally, I like going to the Triple Crown. I really do. I would much rather race in Canada over America. The people up there are way nicer. It's way more laid back. It's more fun to be around those people. The friend base up there is everybody. I can be talking to somebody before the gate drops, go out and race, and then come off the track and be friends again. And down here, you're in the pits, and it just kind of feels like everybody wants to fight each other, and it's not really all that fun down here. Down here, it's like all pressure, and everybody takes it too serious to the point where it's like they're ready to beat each other up for one position, where in Canada, you can blow up a bike, and somebody will lend you a bike and let you race with them just to help you out. So I would much rather go to the Triple Crown Series in Canada. Helmet, I wear an Arai helmet, and I have for the last 4 or 5 years, and I love them. I would not wear anything else if I didn't have to. So as long as Arai wants to keep helping me, I'm going to be wearing Arai, so I'm not planning on going anywhere on that. I mean, I can try to get Amy to come down and answer a few questions, but I'm pretty sure she is going to stay hidden from the camera, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to convince her to come anywhere near the camera. Oh, you're trying to get in. Jeff is my buddy Sam's dad, and he's trying to get some insight to see if I'm going to race a 250 or 450 this summer. See if I'm going to be racing against Sam or if Sam's going to be in the other class. I saw Sam said he's going to do 450, so I might just do 450 so I can ride with Sam. Yeah, they're both upstairs with the puppy, and I just heard the dog get yelled at for barking, so apparently the dog's being wild. The amateur MX stuff, I think, is awesome. I love going and watching those kids ride and stuff, but I do believe that this new amateur supercross thing they're doing is kind of stupid. It's awesome for everybody to get to ride supercross and stuff, but they're using it for these guys to earn their points to earn a supercross license. And the tracks are being cut down so much that they're nothing like what a real supercross track is. So these kids are out here earning these points and thinking that they are going to show up at a supercross race and it's going to be just like that. But if they would take those kids and throw them right to a supercross track, and I'm not talking like Seth Hamaker or, Pierce Brown or anybody like that, like these top amateur kids that get to train everywhere. But a normal person that earns their license and has never been on a real supercross track, when you throw them out on a real supercross track, they're not going to be ready for what it's like. It's unforgiving, and you can't case the jumps, and you have to time everything perfectly so you don't break your wrist or break an ankle or something. They definitely need to go back to the arena cross setup where they actually had real tracks and made you compete against, top level guys to earn your points, so that it's a lot safer, because you're going to be throwing these kids that have no experience out there in supercross with all the guys, and you're going to be putting everybody at risk because they're not used to the tracks. They don't know what they're to expect, and they're going to be out there crashing and getting hurt and taking out people with them, and it's going to cause a lot of injuries, in my opinion. The numbers in the Triple Crown over the last few years has gone up dramatically. When I first started going up there, it was you could sign up and there was like 36 guys or something in the 450 class, and now you're qualifying at every event and sending people home because they're not going to qualify. So I've had a couple of guys from America say that it's going to be so easy in Canada, and Canada's easier, and it's so much easier to race these guys in Canada. They're so much slower, blah, blah, blah. And then they go up there and they can't qualify. So to me, I think it's funny because everybody wants to talk bad about Canada, but when they go up there to try to qualify, they get beat and they can't qualify at all. So they go home with their tail between their legs, and it's kind of a joke on them, laughing at them like, you guys made jokes and said how slow Canada was, but you guys are all losing to these guys and you can't qualify for their national, and you wanted to make jokes about it. So how many sets of 100% goggles I own? I own enough sets of goggles that I could probably supply a factory race team. My girlfriend, I'm pretty sure, is obsessed with goggles, and every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, new goggles show up at the house because she decides that she wants to get a hold of 100% and get more goggles. So the metal gates, I actually don't mind them. I haven't got to spend much time on them, but I would like to get more practice on them because I have been struggling on the new metal gates. I think right now, I would prefer the dirt gates again because I always excelled off of them compared to the metal, but I'm sure over time we'll get used to it. Yes, I will be at Nashville Supercross. I already talked to Sam about it. Sam said he's racing the amateur day. I will be there for the pro day. So when you guys get there, you'll have to find me. We'll be there for the whole weekend. So I'll see you guys in Nashville then. Oh, nice. So you're going to Nashville too. Apparently, my girlfriend's telling me that we have enough pair of goggles that we can sign a pair of goggles and give away a pair of goggles as well as the jersey tonight. So, hopefully soon. It seems like as rides diminish down here, the teams are disappearing down here and stuff. More riders that deserve rides are looking for teams. Like they're calling Dean Wilson a privateer, but he's riding a bike that has an engine straight out of Husqvarna's race rig that no one else can get. But he's a privateer. But guys like that, or like Bogle, who didn't have a ride until Benny Bloss got hurt. Phil obviously didn't have a ride, and he signed the contract to race in Canada and stuff. So it's slowly getting to the point. It's slowly getting to the point where a lot of the guys I think are looking for rides, and as they start looking for rides and teams aren't available, you're going to start seeing a lot of the guys transition to Canada or even maybe overseas or something, because I guess they're really going to go wherever the rides are. People are going to, go where they can to make a living. I used to be super good at starts. I learned from one of my buddies and got really good at them. And I don't know, lately I've kind of been struggling. I'm not really sure what's going on. So I got to spend more time working on that. But I'm not sure if it's the metal gate or what it is, but hopefully we get it figured out soon, because I really don't want to start in the back of the pack. Makes my life a whole lot harder to qualify for stuff when I'm starting in the back. I don't even know if they let us run an open-faced helmet. I'm pretty sure that that's frowned upon. I don't think they'll let us even do that anymore. And that's awesome. You'll have to make sure that you guys find me so we can meet up in Nashville. I don't know when the Arena Cross is in Greensboro, but if I'm not doing anything, I wouldn't mind going to one or two of them if they're close by. I mean, I haven't gotten to do much racing lately, so I definitely want to get behind the gate. It's been a struggle with the weather here in Pennsylvania. We just got bombarded earlier this week with like a foot of snow for no reason, and then it's been raining nonstop. So I'm going to try to get out of here tonight and make it past the ice storm so I can get down south and do some riding. So yeah, if you guys can find me in Nashville or whatever, I mean, for sure bring stickers over and stuff. We can get them on the helmet, the bike, and start really promoting everything. And, I'm all for helping, so that'd be awesome. Come here.
No.
My girlfriend's 3 feet from me right now trying to steal the calendar off the wall, but she won't come onto the camera or say hi to anybody, so she's being way too shy, and I tried to grab her, but I missed. My favorite race last year was probably actually Deschambault in Canada. Not a huge fan of going to Quebec because I can't understand anybody or anything like that. But I always seem to do good there, and I love the track. And I was running 13th and catching the guys in front of me after a bad start. And I had the lap times that would have put me at about 8th. But a front flip and about 5 laps to go put me back in the field, and I only think I passed back up to 15th or something. But I mean, I can't really complain. If I wouldn't have done a front flip, I would have been better off. But I just tucked the front wheel in the sand and did a flip, and nothing major. Picked the bike up and kept going. Yeah, for sure. We'll definitely be in MetLife. Like I said, it's like 3 hours from my house, so I definitely plan on being in MetLife, New Jersey. There's no way that I would miss that round. As long as I'm still healthy, I'm definitely going to be there. You know, people want to say hi to you.
The orange Amy will come say hi.
No, they don't want to see my little brother. They want you to say hi. Come over here and say hi. Yeah, you're no fun. She's being super shy and just does not want any part of being on a camera.
I'm trying to figure out your race schedule.
Literally everybody's like begging you to come over here and say hi.
Well, Zach doesn't count.
No, it's not Zach. See, they're even saying like the one girl in here saying that she thinks you're super pretty, but you won't come over, so she won't even get to see you. Come over. Quit hiding. She's not having any of it. She's just over there sitting playing with her laptop, trying to look at the schedule and stuff. Now that Zach said about that arena cross, she wants to see what we're doing that weekend, so she wants to see if it's possible if I can make it down there or not. She kind of does a lot of the background stuff as far as looking for hotels and trying to see what races we can do and what's going on each weekend. That way she keeps track of it on a calendar for me, so all I have to do is look at a calendar so I can see where I want to go and what's going on that weekend. I don't have to do all of the fancy background work where I have to search everything. I just get to go.
Tell Zach we'll go to North Carolina if he's gonna have a birthday present.
Apparently, Amy says that if you're going to give her a birthday present if we go to the North Carolina Arena Cross, Zach, she said we can go race it as long as you're going to give her a birthday present. So you better buy something fancy. And yeah, I know. It seems that she's the one that is getting the live stream. She's getting more out of this than me. And she won't even say hi. Zach said deal. Hey, I can't say much about the goggles with her. She might be obsessed with them, but when it comes to races and stuff, she's the one that preps all the goggles and everything and makes sure they're all ready for the motos and stuff. She puts all the tear-offs on and cleans them up, has them all set to go. She also picks out which gear I wear so that I don't mismatch or whatever. She makes sure that she tries to basically win her own version of the Lit Kid Award every weekend at every race. So
one day Jeff will award me the Lit Kid Award, okay? One day.
Yeah, we keep trying. Hopefully someday we can pull off the Lit Kid Award.
Step back one weekend and I can win.
Yeah, she's awesome. She helps out a lot. So, like this weekend with my buddy being sick or whatever, not being able to go, riding with me and stuff, she stepped up, so she'll go down with me and give up her weekend to let me play on my dirt bike. The tires on my bike, right now we're running Dunlop. I've been running them for as long as I can remember, basically. I use the primarily the new 33s. The new 33 front tire is awesome. I'm still kind of impartial between the 32 and 33 for the rear, or I guess the 3S now, because they're not allowed to call it a 32. But I actually like the front tire a lot better now that they made that new 33. And outdoors, I will always run a Moose tube because, you can't get a flat tire, and I feel like they hook up a lot better. And indoors, you pretty much have to run an actual tube because with the Moose, it feels dead and it doesn't bounce back in the whoops, and it can really screw you up trying to get through the whoop section with a Moose tube. My other hobbies. When I don't have anything to do, I play a lot of video games when I'm bored and have downtime and don't do anything. And when I'm not doing that, I go bowling or do something stupid with my little brother outside, like chase him around and torture him. So, hey, if Kiefer would give me a best dressed award, I'd be pumped. I'm trying. They're still begging you to come say hi. All you gotta do is poke your head in the camera and say hello. Come on. I'm trying. She doesn't want any part of it. She's too camera shy.
I'll say hi if someone wants to fund a trip for you to race River Glade.
She said she'd come say hi if somebody wants to fund our trip to race River Glade at the Triple Crown Series this year since it's so far away.
They're back to back. Gulf for Sandalene and River Glade are all back to back.
Yeah, that's usually how the schedule goes. She was saying that 3 of the rounds are back to back to back every weekend, so it'll be driving on Friday nights, racing all weekend, and then driving home to go to work, and then doing it again every single time or every single week. So 3 weeks of that in a row, it'll really kind of wear you out.
I heard Mr. Gaynor said he was going to haul your bike to River Glade for you so you could fly.
What would my dream job be in the industry? Honestly, if I could get a job in the industry, I would probably take almost anything. I would love to find a way to work with FXR or whatever and maybe be like the rider support guy and go to all the races and help out the guys that wear our gear or wear the FXR gear. I think that would be sweet. If not, I would love to find a way to be like one of the team managers or something to work with the teams. I would do anything I could. My dream job, if I could do anything, I'd obviously be the rider. But, I think that's everybody's goal at some point. So, what's my go-to karaoke song? Normally, if I'm singing in the van, driving down the road,
I Spy.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably I Spy by Kyle, or I'll go super old school and break out some Uncle Kracker, Follow Me.
No.
Waterfalls. That's more you.
That is not me.
So I don't know. I like old songs.
You and Dylan used to do all the girly songs. Don't even lie.
Zach's asking you a question. What's the craziest part of traveling with me in 2017?
Was that when we were in Canada?
Yeah.
Being the only girl in an RV full of 5 men who took poops in the RV.
She said the craziest part of traveling in 2017 was being stuck in an RV with 5 racers traveling the country and all of us using the facilities in the RV.
Or not showering. You boys not showering after a
Or we
race.
didn't shower enough or quick enough for her after a race because she had to smell us, I guess, after the races. How many different states and countries I've been to? Countries, just Canada and America. States, I think I've been to close to all of them. I have not been to Hawaii or Alaska or Washington.
Arizona?
But, yep, I've been in Arizona. Other than that, I don't know. Maybe Wyoming, but other than that, I'm thinking I'm only missing like 4 states. I think I've been in all the other states. So, I have a favorite song.
Happier.
I Spy by Kyle because that's what I listen to the most. But I don't really have a favorite song. It just seems to be like whatever is popular for me at that given time. I listen to the same thing over and over until I pretty much beat it dead, and then jump to the next song, and then do the same thing, and then do it again. And apparently, my girlfriend's trying to get more information out of me.
No, that's Nate.
My little brother has now
he
hijacked my girlfriend's phone, so now he is purple.
Woo! He logged out of the one upstairs that I didn't know he was logged into.
As far as the tracks go, I actually built my own tracks. I rent equipment, and I've built my own track, and I have tons of people that always want to come and ride at the track with me, and I'm always up for having people here and riding and trying to help people, so it's always been me doing the tracks. They're saying the peanut gallery needs to make an appearance. My little brother will probably do it, but my girlfriend definitely will not. She's hiding from the camera. My little brother's all for it.
Woo!
This is my little brother. This is Nathan.
What's up?
So, this is a baseball player.
Oh, yeah.
Someday maybe I'll ride a dirt bike and
Hey, I fight
cool.
sometimes.
My favorite movie, I definitely know my favorite movie growing up was Joe Dirt. And I would have to say after I started watching like movies on TV and stuff, when I first saw the motocross movie from Disney, that's probably by far my favorite movie. And I'll probably watch the motocross movie from Disney about 1,000 times unless somebody stops me. So that's probably the best movie in my opinion. McKenna said the number one rule is you never take RV dumps.
Or you clean up after you do it.
I actually have not heard My Bike's Too Lit. I don't really ever pay money to download music or anything, so unless somebody puts it somewhere that I can hear it without paying for anything, I probably won't hear it for a while or until I'm in a vehicle with one of my friends and they have it on their phone or something. So I don't know. I listen to whatever's on the radio or whatever I can at the time that's easy to get to, and I never really pay for any music or anything like that. I'm just not super into music to the point where like I follow certain artists or anything like that. Yes, and I have been to New England. What was it? It was last year. It was they had Supercross in Foxborough. We were there for that. So race there. Had a mixed day. We had a good start to the day, qualified all right and stuff, and then they watered the track before our heat race, and when I jumped one of the rhythm sections, I spun going off the takeoff and didn't make the jump and cartwheeled over the berm and almost took out Zach Osborne in the process, so that would have been a really good highlight to have as the guy taking out the points leader. So thankfully I didn't hit him, so kind of dodged a bullet on that one. What's my favorite part of my job and least favorite part of my job?
Why does it always fall in the same?
My favorite part of my job is probably getting to work on all the different stuff. But my least favorite part of my job is dealing with some of the people that like just try to create problems with their machine so they don't have to work. We've multiple times been called to fix problems on machines where the person has hit the e-stop button to turn their machine off, and all they had to do to turn it back on was turn the button and hit start. But aside from dealing with people trying to be super lazy, I really don't mind my job. It's just time consuming and takes away from riding, so that's a big downfall for me. Oh man, favorite place to get a meal on the road? Every single time you're going to ask me that, I'm going to Chipotle.
Waffle House.
No, I go to Chipotle over Waffle House. If I'm in the South in the morning 100% Waffle House. Like every morning if I'm down south, it'll be Waffle House every morning, and then during the day I'm going to Chipotle. I could eat off just those two places every day and I'd be happy.
Need some Bojangles in your life.
I'm not even sure if anybody likes IHOP, so I don't even know why that's a question.
I'm not getting any questions.
I know. No one's asking anything, so I'm sitting here and I'm kind of staring at myself. The track in Calgary is awesome. The track is built in the city, so all the pictures have a backdrop of the actual city behind you and the skyline. So by far, that's one of the coolest places. If you ever get a chance to go ride there, I would most definitely suggest taking the trip and riding that track. The track's sweet. The being able to get pictures of yourself like over the skyline. I have a couple pictures of me throwing whips like completely flat out over top of the skyscrapers and stuff in the background. So it's pretty hard to find anywhere else in the world you're going to get a picture like that. Those pictures, I'm going to say 90% of them were taken by my buddy who's a photographer. His name's Jack Jackson. So I haven't seen him in a while because he lives out west, and I'm stuck over here on the East Coast in the snow.
He was
So-
in Denver.
That would be out west. Denver is
They
out
have
west.
like a foot of snow right now.
Yeah, but he travels all the time.
He's at home.
So I definitely, I would definitely suggest going to Calgary. If I can find a way to get my bike to all of the Triple Crown rounds, if somebody will haul it, I'm definitely going to try to go out to those rounds. So, but until I can figure that out, I don't know. Yes, when I do the giveaway, I guess I'm going to give away a pair of goggles and a jersey because my girlfriend thinks that we have too many goggles, and I agree. I will ask a question. What will it be? I don't know. So I will do that, and then whoever gets it right will win. And no, I would never try the BMX jumps at the Calgary track because they have a BMX park, and I watched my friends do it, and I watched them all eat crap, and one of them pretty much broke their ankle. So yeah, I have no desire to do that. I'll watch all day, but if it doesn't have an engine, I ain't jumping it. My favorite set of FXR gear.
The red and green.
I would say probably I'm into like that electric blue and neon yellow.
That's not true.
Yes, it is. I love that gear.
That's not true. Your favorite FXR gear is the one that has the butt patch on it for Rick.
Yeah, the red and green.
It's
That's
the red,
that's
and
red
yellow.
and yellow.
Oh, yeah, oh,
And that's my personal favorite, but not because of the gear, but because of what's on it.
okay.
They're saying my favorite gear is it's the red and yellow helium gear. I do like it, but it's my favorite not because it's my favorite colors or favorite set of gear. It's my favorite because I actually have a butt patch on it for my dad. So after my dad passed away, we had a custom butt patch made for him, and it was attached to that gear. So that's why they're yelling about that gear.
You should ask them if anyone has an idea for a butt patch this year for you. Because we did the flower power. We'll do one for Rick again. What else are we gonna do? I'm open to any suggestions.
I do want to learn to do a backflip, but I'm not doing it unless I go to Travis's house and there's a foam pit involved. So somebody wants to get Travis Estrada to let me go there and do a backflip, I'm going. So that's on my list of things to do before I die. So definitely want to learn to do it and at least do it one time. And then I'll be happy. And yeah, being in PA, I actually run into Brock Hepler a lot. Rode with him quite a bit at a local track out there called Switchback. He still rides quite a bit, but he's doing A-Work stuff, more in the woods and stuff like that, riding for a Cowie team. But on a a motocross track, he is still just as fast as ever. So he hasn't really lost anything since he disappeared from the pro scene. Definitely road bike. I've never really been much. I mean, I've never really gone mountain biking. Other than like just riding a mountain bike around, I've never gone like downhill mountain biking or anything like that. I mean, I wouldn't mind trying it, but I do have a road bike and I do road bikes. So my girlfriend didn't want me to ask you though if anybody has any ideas for butt patches this year for my gear. So I know I'll do another one for my dad, and other than that, I don't really know what else I'm going to put on my butt patches. Yeah, Englishtown Raceway Park. They're both in New Jersey. I think it's the same place, but they're sweet tracks. I haven't been there since they redid it, but I do want to go check it out. I just haven't had a chance to get out there lately, so.
I think we're going with my girlfriend dresses me.
Yeah, I guess they're taking votes over here, and they're definitely saying that we need to go with the my girlfriend dresses me for a butt patch, because everybody apparently thinks that's funny that's here at the house with me. So.
I mean, maybe if I put lit kit on your butt, direct will give me the lit kit.
Any line from Napoleon Dynamite for the butt patch.
But you
Tina, you fat lord.
you don't like tater tots.
Yeah, I could probably quote Joe Dirt the whole way through, so I could probably have a butt patch for that. Life's a garden. Dig it.
I got
Yeah, there you go. Next time I go to a mud race, I'll have a butt patch that says, "I got the poo on me."
You're being embarrassing.
no. Fine. Let him go.
So. And no, just because I live in PA does not mean I like snow. I hate the snow.
That was your brother.
No, that is a perfect butt patch for you, Zach. We're going to get you a butt patch that says Claire. There he said foul ball. That's pretty clever. When in doubt, throttle out.
We would have
Yeah, I
needed
like that.
when you almost took out Osborne.
What?
We would have needed that one when you almost took out Osborne.
Well, if I would have had when in doubt, throttle out when I almost took out
Not
Osborne,
that one.
I would have killed Osborne
Not
because
that
I would have
one.
hit him head on.
The one above it.
Oh. No, the one for Osborne should have been Crash, because I almost ran right into him. That's totally my fault, too. Bow out zone. Get a little spark plug, call a fouled plug. I don't know.
No. Just leave it to them. They're much better than you.
That one's funny, but I don't know if they'd allow that one. That one might come off wrong.
That's good for shoulder pain.
You're horrible, Nathan.
When was that? Arena Cross? Yeah, well.
The 9th of February.
Nate, get off my phone. Greensboro? Is that what he said?
Yeah, they said it was in Greensboro. So does anybody else have any questions or anything? Or is everybody just waiting so that we can do a giveaway?
We should have done a random giveaway where we put all their names on a thing. You trade it all.
No, with work, I don't get to spend a whole lot of time doing a whole lot of anything except going to work during the week lately. And the weather outside here is less than good. Yeah, Zach's one of my buddies. I'll see him this weekend when I'm down south riding. So he's just on here trying to be funny, I guess. So I'll get him back this weekend. Don't worry. I'll try to post a picture of him when I put him over the berm or something.
Oh, now his brother's on. Is that his dad?
I don't actually go to the gym like Planet Fitness or anything like that. I've always just spent a ton of time riding the bike, and I don't really think there's any substitute for being on the bike or seat time. I definitely believe that the more time you spend on the bike, the better off you are. I mean, cardio training is definitely a good thing, but I don't think there's any real substitute like weightlifting and stuff like that. I don't think there's any substitute for the muscle memory and stuff that you have to learn while riding. My girlfriend does not race, but she does have a bike now, and I try to get her on it as much as possible, but she doesn't get on it as much as I would like. I don't think she likes me trying to push her to get her to do things, so she just likes to ride away from me and where I can't see her.
No, you just refuse to make my little humps on the track, so I won't ride.
I'm not on any special diet or anything like that. I mean, I don't go get fast food all the time or anything like that.
You don't
But
like fast food.
yeah, I'm not much for fast food. I really have to be like driving in the van or something, like in a hurry to get somewhere or something if I'm going to stop and eat something like that. I definitely, the closest thing to fast food for me is probably Chipotle. So that's probably my fast food diet, if you want to count that as fast food. Hey, thanks for coming and talking to me and stuff. For sure, it's awesome to be on here. I'm sure she'll take good care of me.
Yeah. He's for sale if anyone wants him.
Well, apparently, I'm now for sale, so.
I'll buy you. I got you, dog.
They just have to know how to buy goggles.
I have raced one GNCC in my career. I did it for fun, as I guess more or less just a joke, like for fun with my buddies. They wanted me to go, and I went. And I tried to sign up for the B class because I've never raced in the woods, but somebody there recognized me and knew who I was, so right away they forced me to race the pro class in the morning because of having my pro license in Supercross and stuff. So I got forced to ride against dudes that have been racing in the woods their entire life. My only GNCC wasn't horrible, but I got fourth in the morning in the pro class, so I can't really complain. But I would definitely do it again. I had a blast, but I'm definitely taking more goggles next time because I ran out of roll-offs on the first lap in the GNCC and I had to ride without goggles until the halfway point when I stopped for fuel.
I wasn't there.
No, that was pre-Amy. That was probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Or else you wouldn't run out of goggles.
Well, I don't think I had much of a choice. I had mud hit the roll-off lens and break the lens right away. I don't know, it's just weird you being that close, but you won't be on the camera. Just say hi. I plan on trying to school Zach this weekend if he comes out and rides with me.
I'm packing for this weekend.
Oh yeah, she's like within 2 feet of me, so hey, no problem. It was awesome getting a chance to come on here and do this. It was great getting to talk to everybody and stuff. I had fun. It was cool to get to do something like this, and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to do it. So let's you want to grab the jersey?
Where is it?
Laying right there.
Is it this one here?
Yeah.
Do I need to pick goggles out or something?
No, they're. I'll get them at a.
I got a jersey here.
Do I have to like hold it up right here?
So I'll sign it and everything, whatever, for to give away and stuff. But let's go ahead and do the giveaway here, and as soon as I think of a good trivia question, we'll see if somebody can answer it.
Should have had this like.
Yeah, well, I'm not good at trivia, so
Do your brain teaser you and Nate always do.
yeah, I could do that. But we'll do that. We'll do that one for the goggles. We'll actually ask a question for the jersey. What round did I say was my favorite round to race in Canada? You don't count. You're my brother.
I know.
He doesn't have my phone.
No, he's raising his hand.
Oh.
Close. Not quite.
What they say?
They thought it was Deschambault, but it's not Deschambault. That's not my favorite.
Ma-
That's one of the tracks I do enjoy up there, but that's not my favorite. It was asked earlier before that. And no, it's not Gopher Dunes. Gopher Dunes is not my favorite track. That place is yeah, that place is definitely one of the hardest tracks to ride. It's not my favorite. I barely survived that weekend.
It's always just so hot and humid. Or you did the big dump? No, that's Deschambault.
That's the track with the doubles Deschambault. It's not there. It's the place that I would always go back to no matter what. Yep, it's Riverglade. Riverglade was the answer. It's definitely Riverglade. Riverglade's my favorite track in Canada. I will go there every time that there's a race if I can. I haven't missed any of the races at Riverglade for the last couple of years, and I don't really plan to start missing many times soon. So
Deschambault's your second favorite?
yeah, I would say Deschambault is definitely my second favorite.
I should probably.
Yeah, McKenna was definitely the first one to beat it out on Riverglade, so that's going to her.
Well,
But I have goggles to give away also. This is more of a brain buster than a trivia question, and it's you have to listen carefully to get the answer. There are 30 cows and 28 chickens. How many didn't? Nope, it's not 2. You have to listen closely.
say
There are 30 cows and 28 chickens. How many didn't? Yes, it is 10. There are 30 cows and 28 chickens. So 10. 10 did not. It's one of those plays on words that messes with people, and I like doing that because it's fun, and I like to try to see people's reaction when they realize that it's not what they thought it was initially. All right, that's fine by me. I can send them to you guys, and you guys can do a giveaway with them. That's perfectly fine. Hey, no, thank you for having me come on and do this. I had a blast. This was awesome. It was a lot of fun to get to talk to everybody and do this. So thanks for everything. I'm going to get packed up and I'm going to head down south to ride. So I guess I will see you guys all later. And
We'll
thank
just
you.
message her on Instagram.
Yeah, McKenna,
We'll get her
I'm
right
pretty
back.
sure that you follow me on Instagram and everything. So if you message me and stuff, I can get the jersey sent over to you and stuff. So we can do it. See you guys.
Excuse me, Missy, get off the steps.